Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Commerce Diaries. I hope you all are doing well. In the today's video, we are going to learn a very interesting management theory, that is the Henry Fayol's administrative theory of the management, which is important for our paper 2 commerce in the unit of BM and HRM, and it is also important for the management paper. So let us begin with it. Henry Fayol's administrative theory of management. First, let us have information about the Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol was a French mining engineer who turned a leading industrialist and a successful manager. He started his career as a mining engineer and in a French mining company and rose the position of the chief managing director. So, Henry Fayol was a French mining engineer. He has turned into the chief managing director. After conducting many experiments and observation in the organization, the Fayol proposed the 14 principles of management, which are explained in his famous book General and Industrial Administration. This is the important key point over here. You can expect this keyword like General and Industrial Administration, this book name or this total theory name, Administrative Theory of Management. This question you can expect in the examination as a match the following question. Means one side they will given the author name like a Henry Fayol, and other side they will give the Administrative Theory of Management. So here you first remember who was the Henry Fayol, the theory which he has given, that is the Administrative Theory of Management, then this 14 principles of management, and this important key term, that is General and Industrial Administration, that is his book name. Okay, now let's move further. If you can see here, I have written a one trick to remember all 14 principles, and I have inserted a one beautiful picture over here so that you can easily remember all these 14 principles. First, let us discuss all the principles in detail, then we will come to the trick how to remember all these 14 principles. So here, first principle is that principle of division of work. According to this principle, the work is divided into the different kinds such as the technical, financial, commercial, security operation, accounting, managerial. It is assigned to employee as per their qualities and capabilities. It helps in improving the efficiency and expertise of the employees, which ultimately turns into the expected productivity level. So, as we are aware about that, in the any kind of the organization we will find out the many departments, like some departments are working in the technical background, IT department, some are handling the financial activities, and some are working in the human resources activities, some are engaged with the security operations. So this is the division of the work. If we divided work into the different sections, so those particular division and those particular employee will can efficiently work on their activities. So division of the work will give the efficiency which will help to achieve our ultimate goal. Then next, principle of authority and responsibility. Authority is the right to take a decision. As we know, authority is an important keyword or important aspect for any manager and organization. It is necessary to get the things done appropriately from the subordinates. It is a task for the manager to get the things rightly done from the subordinate. Authorities always comes with the responsibilities. So this is also the important key point over here. You have to remember this, that the authority and responsibility goes hands in hand. If there is a authority, there is a responsibility, and if you have a responsibility of something, then there must be a authority. If the manager is given the authority to complete tasks within the given time, he should be held the responsible if he does not complete the work time in the given time. Okay, so as I told that if person is responsible for doing a certain kind of the work, then he's having that kind of the authority to do or to get that work done from his subordinate. Okay, and for getting that work done from the subordinate, for that the manager or the particular personnel is responsible. Then next principle is that principle of discipline. As the name given, we can understood what given in this principle. According to the Fayol, discipline is the most essential thing in the organization. Employee must obey and respect the rules that govern in the organization. Discipline helps to achieve the goals in the organization. Good discipline is the result of the effectiveness of the leadership. There must be an understanding between the management and workers regarding to the organization rules. As we know that in the any kind of the organization, there must be a certain rules and regulation to working of that particular organization. Every employee, whether it is a higher authority or it can be the lower personnel, it must be obey the rules and the regulations which is given by the organization. And I must say that the every person who are engaged in the organization are obey to those rules and bound to follow that particular rules. Rules and regulation helps to do the work in the effective manner, efficient manner, and in the time bound aspect. Then next, principle of unity of command. Each member of organization should receive a order from only one superior. Okay, so as the name is given that the principle of unity of the command, that means if you divided your work in the different sections. Okay, so that particular section, if someone is engaged in the HR department or if someone is engaged in the finance department, so for that particular department there should be only one person or one authorized person who will give the command to finance department or to the HR department. So unity of command will give you the one way direction that what things you have to do. This principle helps to managing the conflicts and solving disputes among the people in the organization. It also helps to avoid the confusion, because if you are getting a command from the one particular authority, so that time you will clear about your targets and goals which you want to achieve. If you get a multiple commands from the multiple authorities, that time confusion will create that which command I should follow, what the targets I need to achieve. So there should be a unity of the command, that the only one command from the authority. If any employee receives the command from the more than one authority, he will get confused. As I told before, multiple commands will get a confusion in the employees that what he actually need to do. It will not able to take the decision about whose order should be followed. The next principle is that principle of the unity of the direction. Here, unity of the direction. As the name given, the principle stated that there should be a one head and one plan. In every organization, each group in the organization should have some objectives, and group should be directed by one manager using a single plan. Okay, so as we have discussed earlier that there should be a unity of the command, that is the one command for one particular group. So here what we are discussing, that the unity of the direction, there should be a one head and the one plan in the organization. Means if you are divided into the different kind of the departments, if you are getting the command from the authority, but ultimately your aim should be a one. Means all the organization, if they are divided into the different departments, but their ultimate goal should be a one, that is the unity of the direction. Means your direction is a one, your final objective is the one, but for that you are getting a direction from one head for the one plan. Then next, the principle of the subordination of the individual interest to the organizational interest. According to this principle, the interest of the individual must be given the less importance than the interest of an organization. As we understood that in the any kind of the organization, the interest and the importance of the organization will given a first preference, means there should not be any biasness on the basis of the one individual person. If one individual person is not agreeing with the rules, if he are not agreeing with the policies and the structure of organization, his particular views or his particular personal views should not hamper the organizational objective. While taking the decision in the organization, manager always consider the interests of whole group rather than the interests of the single employee. So in the simple language, there should not be any biasness while taking a decision, means any individual person's interest, any individual person's personal interest should not hamper the decision of the whole organization. So there should be a interest considered on the group basis, not on an individual basis. The next, principle of the centralization. Centralization refers to the concentration of the powers and authorities. In some organizations, the power is vested into the one hand or the few hand. This situation occurs in the small organization. But if the size of the organization is large, then there is a decentralization of the power and authority. So let's take the example. If you have a small company and there must be only one person who is the whole and soul for that particular organization. So in this kind of the organization, we can use the centralization, means one authority will take all the decision, he will give all the commands to the person who are working under him. But if you are working in the big organization, larger organization, so in this type you must follow the principle of the decentralization, because one person can't take the decision for all the division of the groups and all the division of your working management. So these thing you have to understand. The centralization and the decentralization will depend upon your size of organization. For the smaller organization, centralization will follow, and in the bigger organization, according to this principle, there must be the proper balance between the centralization and decentralization in organization. It must be done according to the size of organization. As I discussed previously, the whether we have to use the centralization or the decentralization approach, it is totally depend upon the size of organization. The next is that principle of the remuneration. Appropriate remuneration to the staff or employees is most important. Appropriate remuneration to the staff or employee is the principle to keep them satisfied financially as well as the return for the longer span of the time within the organization. The fair remuneration affect the productivity and the efficiency level of the total organization. For example, if you have employees working in your organization for the longer period, let's say maybe for the 3 years, 5 years, or more than the 5 years, so it is the responsibility of the manager or the organization to give them a proper remuneration. There should be a increment for the salary, or there any kind of the bonus for the festivals and additional benefits. So that will give a boost, or that will give the motivation the employees to work in the better manner, so that they will give the good result, and that will be a beneficial for organization to achieve their end result. So remuneration keep the employees in the satisfactory level, that will help them to work efficiently and a very interesting manner. Then next, principle of scalar chain. This is one of important principle over here. Scalar change means the hierarchy of the authority from the top level to the lower level of the for the purpose of the communication. Scalar chain means what? It is the hierarchy, or it is the system that which follow for the communication in the organization. It helps to ensure the orderly flow of the information and the communication. Traditionally, the organization used to frame the large scalar change, which was the time consuming. Means the first, if there is any higher authority, he will send the information to the some middle level authorities, then that will send the information to the lower authority. So what, in this case, the time got wasted for sharing the message. That approach get followed in the traditional days. Now let us understand the scalar chain with the example. That is, for example, a general manager informed the decision to respect to the functional manager. The functional manager will pass the supervisor, and the supervisor will inform it to the foreman, and so on according to the level of authority. As I discussed in the previous example, if the general manager is a higher authority, then he will send his decision to the functional manager, then functional manager passing it to the supervisor, then supervisor passing it to the foreman. So the long chain or hierarchy get created over here. But for avoiding the longer chain and take a speedy decision across communication and direction communication get followed by the various organization. So in this case, the general manager will directly give his message to the foreman to avoid this longer chain. Okay, so this kind of the direct communication between the higher authorities and the lower authorities are popularly known as a gang plan. So this is also an important keyword. To avoid the delay and the emergency situation, there will be a direct communication is termed as a gang plan. You can expect this question, or you can expect this kind of the statements in your examination. So remember that to avoid a delay or emergency situation, there will be a direct communication. It is termed as a gang plan. Gang plan is the direct communication. Then next, principle of order. This principle is based on a place for everything and everything in its place. Okay, human resources and the material should be in the right place at the right time. Principle of order means there should be the resources which get used at a proper time, at a proper place, and the right situation. For maximum efficiency, the human resource should be placed at the right place at the right job. There the principle focuses the proper utilization of the physical and the human resources. If we take the example that if you have a person, or if you have any employee which is efficient in the human resource, then he must get appointed in the department of the human resource. We just can't take that human resource person in our financial department. So there should be a right order and the right place and the right utilization of our resources, whether it can be a physical resources or any kind of the human resources. Then principle of the equity. The management should be fair as well as the friendly to subordinate, while the division the work, delegating the authority, deciding the monetary terms, etc. There should not be any discrimination between the employees. This equity will help to avoid the conflicts in an organization. So principle of the equity suggested that you must have take a fair decision for all the employees. There should not be any biases between the two employees or any two departments. Means you are giving the rules and regulation on the basis of biasness. There should not be allowed. For example, if you are giving the remuneration, or if you are giving any kind of the bonuses to one particular person, but you are not giving those same benefits to the other person, this kind of things should not be considered. You must take the equal decision for all. Then next, principle of the stability of the tenure. At the time of the recruitment of the employees, the management should ensure them about the stability of the tenure or the job security. It plays the very important role in the creating the sense of belongingness. Okay, principle of stability of tenure means that the every person or every working employee seeking for the security of his job, if he is giving his 100% output to get work done for the organization, then it is the responsibility of the organization or the particular manager that they must give the security for his job or security for his working condition. The insecurity in the job will always affect the efficiency of the employees. So the stability of the tenure means the stability or the security of the job or the working condition. Then principle of the initiative. Initiative refers to the volunteering to do a work in an innovative way. The freedom to think or the work on the new idea encourages the employee to take a initiative while working on the given task. The initiative should be welcomed by the manager, including through the decision for new ideas. Means if any employee is giving his ideas to do the same work in the innovative way, or if he is giving idea to any new concept, so those kind of the things should be get appreciated by the manager. For example, in the sales department, if any employee is giving the idea to promote our product or which helps to increase the sales of that particular product, so it is the responsibility of the sales manager that he should consider the innovative ideas of that particular employee, so that will encourage the employee to work efficiently and they will work in the creative mind rather than the monotonous mind. Then next, this is last and the important principles in this theory, that is the Escaric D corps, that means the teamwork. First, remember this, that term Escaric D corps means a teamwork. Henry Fayol has given the emphasis on the teamwork. Esprit de corps means the union of the strength. This is also a key term to remember, that Esprit de corps means the union of the strength. Running any organization is a group activity and the human resources are valuable asset for the organization. As we know that our human resources and our employees are the asset for the organization. If all employees are working as a union with the mutual trust, the difficulties can be get solved. Means unity and the mutual trust will encourage employee to work in the speedy manner or in the good manner. It is also helpful to avoid the conflicts between the employees. Therefore, as a leader, manager should create a spirit of the teamwork and understanding among the employees to achieve the organizational goal easily. Okay, so Escalate D Corps means a manager should encourage the employee for teamwork. He should build the rapport among all the employees and keep them in a group. So above 14 principles of Henry Fayol are very useful to manage the organization efficiently and effectively. These are also supportive to the functions of the management. These principles are very logical, therefore these applicable into the modern management era also. So as we have seen all these principles, these are very easy to understand. As we can see, we can easily remember these principles by their name, and by their name we can easily sense what the each principle is suggesting us. But as we know that we have to use the smart things to remember the each and every concept, so let us discuss now what we are waiting eagerly, that is our trick to remember this 14 principles. So now let us reveal our trick. First, here you can see is that trick is that a 3D insourcing. You have to revise this word in your mind, that a 3D insourcing, and I'm hoping that you, whenever you will watch this video, you will write down this trick in the comment box. That is, the trick is a 3D insourcing. So as you can see, this chart or the image which I have inserted here. So first is that the division of the work. So in this, D stands for the division of the works. Then authority and the responsibility, that is, with the A you can remember authority and the responsibility. A for authority. Then next again, D is for the discipline. Then unity of the command. So unity of the command. So C for the command over here. Then unity of the direction. Again the D is coming over here, so we will put a D over here. So as here we have cover all 3 Ds, as I have written here 3 D. So D for the division, D for the discipline, and D for the unity of the direction. Then next is that alignment of the interest. I stands for the interest. Then next, remuneration of the employees. R for the remuneration. Then next, centralization. Again C is coming over here, so I have put it the C over here, that is the source C. You can see the two C in here, but C stands for the command and C stands for the centralization. Then next thing is that scalar chain. As we can see, I have inserted two C's over here, so this is the scalar chain. S stands for the scalar change. Then no principle of the order. We have a one O over here, so that is O stands for the principle of order. Then E. E is for the principle of the equity. So here E is for the equity. Then the stability of the personnel. Again S is coming over here for the stability of the personnel. Then next 13.1 is that initiative. Again I stands for the initiative. Then last thing is that escalate D corps, that we have understood with the team spirit. So escalate D corps, as I have told the two E's for us, so the last E is escalate D corps. Sorry about this bad handwriting, but I'm again repeating this trick, as I have given here a 3D insourcing. So first, division of the works, you can remember it by the D. D stands for the division of the work. Then next, authority and responsibility. A stands for the authority and responsibility. Then again D for the discipline. D for the discipline, principle of the discipline. Then fourth, unity of the command. C stands for the command. Then next, unity of the direction. Again D is for the direction. So this 3D cover over the here and this one. So here we have covered a 3D. Then next, alignment of the interest, principle of the interest. I stands for the interest. Then remuneration of the employees. Okay, R stands for the remuneration. Centralization, again C came over here, so principle of centralization. C stands for the command. Then next, scalar chain. S stands for the scalar chain. Then O, principle of the order, will stand with the order, so order. Then next is that equity. E stands for the equity. Then next is that stability of the personnel. S stands for the stability. Then next is that again I stands for the initiative. And last one, that is E, that is here escalate D corps. E stands for the escalate D corps. So with this trick you can easily remember all these 14 principles. You just have to memorize this word in your mind, that a 3D insourcing, a 3D insourcing. So by this you can easily recall all these 14 principles of the management. So this was the interesting trick from my side for your preparation, and this was an interesting theory which is given by the Henry Fayol's administrative theory of the management. If you like this video, if you find this video helpful for your preparation, if you like my trick, then don't forget to give your reviews on this video. Do like this video, share this trick with your friends, share this trick with the students which are preparing for the NTUGC net examination, and also subscribe to my channel. We will meet in the next video along with the interesting topic.